Right, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you a warm greetings from the TNN TV Media Empire. Today, the 29th of September 2022, me where they talk to Una on this particular program. I'm in Prince Emil Koma. Again, it's just a quick one, but very important in the sense that the country they go through a period, not new. I mean, many times where they go through the period there, but we dey approach something where they call the critical mass. And inside the state of a critical mass, you dey witness and see a lot of things where they go on, and you just need for open your eyes and open your ears. So I want to use this opportunity because now a quick broadcast, by the way, it's just a quick broadcast. So I dey hope for use the opportunity for ask Fambulem for A, share the platform, two, bear and keep the faith, because we will not be cowed, we will not be intimidated, we will not be threatened. The cause of the people remain upmost in our mind. Today we're supposed to host a brother called the People's Power. We seem for they have a hard time, here getting him on. So there's a probability, say, he might not even come on. And we're not going to make judgment as to why he not come on. We go put him down basically to other reasons, technical or you name it. So therefore, it's going to be a short program because for talk is nothing. Now, how you talk the talk and how relevant the talk is. Because talk nearly go out of style, especially in current day Sierra Leone. So on this basis, Fambulem, I want to say welcome to the TNN TV Media Empire, where the truth is sacred, where those of us that aspire for bring information to we people will not be intimidated, we will not be cowed, because why? We believe in the principles of justice. We have or not believe here, say, the intimidation in the form of mamikos has ever changed the value of a conversation. Never. The real essence of the value of a conversation has not been changed. Just that people them way are sort of empty vessels are using this kind of means only for intimidate people and that they can't contend with, that they can't box. And instead of having a conversation, we go make the difference. They don't, but they resort into other temptations. So like I say again today, the 29th of September 2022, we suppose forget a brother and a friend on the platform for let we talk about issues relevant to our country. Nothing really personal, just on voter registration, ongoing voter registration, ongoing party activities, waiting to happen, how it happen, why it happen. These are the things that we're interested in. And as a responsible platform, we want to bring this to the knowledge of the people. I want to also use the opportunity for commend dozens of people where they join the platform on a daily basis. We page either by liking or following. So the message is growing. I just get message from one or two parliamentarians earlier on, which speaks to me of a different sort of criteria, that there is something that we speak to and we sort of certainly right. But before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, can I just say that this is the TNN TV Media Empire, your friendly news outlet, the outlet where you can count on for provide information for you, where they make for help you when you make a decision. That decision is based on an informed choice. Once more, the TNN TV Media Empire, don't touch that dial. The best you can do now is to share. God I dey come. Now I have so business alone and fam. We ask one, come on a road with the cam. And two shit rest with the one we don't jam. Yeah, so we dey give them notice. Now I have so we dey give them notice. Now I have so we dey give them notice. If you don't give them notice, we don't go get this. Now I have so we dey give them notice. Now I have so we dey give them notice. Now I have so we dey give them notice. If you don't give them notice, we don't go get this. Now I have so we dey give them notice. Now I have so we dey give them notice. Now I have so we dey give them notice. If you don't give them notice, we don't go get this. Reject them notice. We dey give them reject them notice. Now I have reject them notice. We dey give them reject them notice. Now I have to wait till make power and all they give them. Lots of structure and they make them to death. All of it they now we dey boss with them. Wala una move. Get it, man, I'm going at the same move. And I take, I don't get me and then I go tell them to let them lock me in a jail. Only promise when they make them fail. Them cause I don't know what I will, all man they fail. When they look at it, when they say that they make. Kuna I go here, got all I'm fake. When this election, no one they should not they take. So if you know what they say, I see pay. I don't be no say some man and yappy. I don't be no say some man and belly wappy. They give two shit girls, they say I'm for nothing. Now I am so we get it. All right. Now the lyrics from one of Sierra Leone's best artists, Innocent Kuti. Really wonderful, lyrics from the artist. And just for reminding you quickly, Fambulem, I own no copyrights to these songs. The reason why we play them, we need to derive any material financial benefit out of them, other than for use them for promote, self cohesion, democracy, and empowerment in our country. Where I believe say the man will own the rights to the songs. The man himself, Innocent Kuti, go appreciate. So thank you very much. Having said this, Fambule, like I say, it's going to be a very short program, probably one of the shortest, God willing, because sometimes we say this and then other things that can come up and then we can continue for doing. You see, Fambulin, we they, as I said from the beginning, at a very critical mass na the direction or the juncture of the country as to usai we dey go. We need for begin for ask ourselves whether na insults we want for indulge into, or whether we really want for have a conversation, a meaningful conversation as to usai we country the head. One way we can disagree for agree, where every view is respected. That when you hold a public servant into account, it's not seen as personal, it's seen as the very good architecture of a democratic process in which we ask say, something that you've done is not or it not seem right. Can we do it better, or can you justify what you've done instead of other people in the CM, you're completely differently? There's a lot to this. Famulem, waiting we don't see that with democratic process is threats and intimidations in many different aspects. And people that were not even germane to the conversation, because what we do want to have is people who are germane to the conversation so that we can have this conversation and know the differences and try for patch up so that the common denominator, which is about we country and we try for help with country, we go actually realize and find solutions to that situation there. But this now seem to be the case with many, now we community who's taking, like personal things for mean something else very, very personal to them and forget for no say it's a national conversation and there are 8 million plus more of us. Anyway, for those of you now we just join, we be supposed to host the People's Power today na the platform. For some reason, I'm not able to forget the People's Power. And I hope he's well. I hope he's fine. And I'm sure he's well and he's fine. But he's not been able to turn up on the platform for let we have this conversation around nothing personal, just about the country, voter registration, in political party where he can be champion, which are the All People's Congress. Where is he or are they in terms of the registration process? What is ongoing in Freetown Urban, Freetown Rural? What is ongoing in the north and the northwest of the country? These are supposedly supposed to be strongholds of the All People's Congress. What is ongoing there? What is his view or opinion about the voter process altogether, vis-a-vis the Elections Commission, ECSL, Okay, waiting then they do. Waiting actually they happen. Waiting at the position of first time voters them. Who are those being are people being rejected? Who are those being rejected? Why are they being rejected? You know, in investigative journalism, the why, who, what, when, and you name it. These are the kind of things that we try for find out as to concern about people that are waiting at the ground where they offer we many aspects or perspective of the reality on the ground. So such was the reason why we invite them for Canle we can hear waiting eager for see. Notwithstanding, the TNN TV media empire never gets short of guest. If I wanted to bring somebody prominent right now, I will. It's just a matter of a phone call away because we get people who are dedicated to the cause of the country, not on a partisan basis, not on a regional or tribal basis, but on a national basis. Because why? Civic responsibility, constitutional responsibility don't teach them, say, this and this, na una suppose for do. By the way, can I inform you guys that I haven't done monologue for a period of time? This now one will not be designed as such, but one way is designed as a monologue will be held tomorrow. So I promise you now, tomorrow, please tune in to the platform because you're not going to regret it. We're going to be on point. We talk about the First Lady. When it comes to the First Lady, we've never minced our words. We always they say it as it is. That it a misfire, that in timing is inappropriate, that anytime we come, even if I can't justify something we been on the way completely wrong, instead of he own up, she doesn't. Instead, he want double down and he doubling down. He almost, not the almost, he always they implicate himself more. Look what he said quite recently, that her husband, who happens to be our president, that's Julius Marabio retired, is an architect or holds a PhD in overthrowing of governments. Now, whatever humor you want put to that, which wasn't, because bear in mind, say, the First Lady is not an orator. She is not an orator. Nobody can tell you that she's an orator and you buy into that. We don't say we get people and where they support them out of sycophancy, gullibility. Of course, there are. And sometimes you have to feel sorry for those people. And especially when trouble keep the reoccur in a particular place and you continue for embrace that. So therefore, you therefore ask yourself, why? So she's not a public speaker, not a public orator. And every time we talk, she just drives a wedge. And I make we can say, stop. Use a PR team. Let them manage you. You don't have to be the speaker yourself. You are not elected. You were not elected. And all I can say again is many years ago, not many, because it will sound like far away. About 2 or 3 years ago, there was an independence ceremony in which she was the master architect. Everything was dedicated or delegated to her, to the First Lady, Madam Fatima Bio. Now, the celebration on the day, imagine how we always can try for celebrate something, regardless of the enormity of the thing. Whether not trivial, whether not seriousness, we always deal in the midst of things. What do I mean by this? Whether not plumber person they make, we know say na free tongue. People then go for go draw water, na public pump. And then some vision ensued na that public pump. Can't see the crowd where they gather there. Wood lorry they pass, 3 bunch wood for them. Can't see the amount of people. And now a national celebration in the form of independence take place. Now national stadium, we shrine where we go and cry, where we go and laugh. Now this occasion was held. I think about 3 years ago, the national celebration for the independence anniversary. The First Lady was in charge. So the general populace was invited. If you can come, come. Now make a stadium. We get this wide expanse of place. In other words, a center outside people that can come for can assemble. And guess what happened? I think I'm a third or fourth time this they talk about this. There was a verdict then as to the conduct of the First Lady. For sure, say we are not happy with you, we don't appreciate you. Family, remember, I still get a video there. I'm not been planned for show. Neither am I going to show it because planning for show member means say, for me not look at me archive and get them out and then play them. No, I did not. But remember, say, now that night the First Lady do. He invite the general populace for let them come for can celebrate with the rest of the country. Nobody turn up. When I say nobody turn up, the only people that will turn up now presidential stand. And these were the people who were part of the process. These are the first lady in entourage, the government in entourage. The people never turn up. If you not be understand and say this was a verdict, this was an adjudication on the first lady in position, then that means you miss a lot. That people let me not make up their minds already say, this is not for us. The way you conduct yourself is not for us. And Famulema go also equally tell Una something today. The first lady since then has been annoyed, very, very annoyed. In other words, vexed, upset with the people because of the way how things went. Now, it make you can see where you already pull bench, where they talk to the salon people now finger wagging in an aggressive state of mind. It's a subconscious thing, speaking psychologically, because you're upset with the people. This is the way you are addressing them. How we vex with them, without saying, say, I vex with una, but look for other option. Una we get for begin mob justice, una this and that, and one have you. When the first lady begin for appearing on TikTok, I don't have a problem with she appearing on a TikTok, but on a positive vibes. In other words, there's a huge segment of Sierra Leonean them when they watch TikTok and when they pay attention to the first lady. So the first lady happened to get this positive message. So therefore, for convey the message to the rest of the population, you use one of the applications them way the population they use, especially young people, because that's the people that you want to get to. And this is where you can get to them. But again, Fambulen, this was not the case at all. The first lady was just happy for use any application we go use for promote your own personal image. Because me not see the message we be the send on TikTok. Sometimes she doesn't even talk, and I've been mentioned that. But again, it don't come for vindicate me. Because in the recent audio where he pulled, he say, well, na hints now been sent to the people and when they say XYZ about me. Imagine this is the first lady. This is the first lady of the country. So you go on TikTok, the jacking head back, the Nigerian dance or attitude of people generally, where young people like can do. Not the first lady of a country, for goodness sake. Protocol does not allow this. But she kept doing it, and I remember say, are there not people around where can tell and say, no, madam, first lady, you are going the wrong way? Or the same people that were there around now, they get the impression for say, waiting, all waiting the first lady, here they say, she's right. Oh, this is now one of the best first ladies ever. Yeah. Pardon me. This is now one of the best first ladies ever. Continue for say that. So you they empower around for continue for do what you do, even though it doesn't make sense at all. Same first lady that went to a conference in Russia, invited, African presidents and the first ladies invited by President Putin of Russia, and whip out in phone, and go live. First ladies don't do this. But yet you will get people and we begin for praise them. Oh, she's absolutely right. He right for do what he do. Yeah, this is not the best first lady. And this has been like a cause for like many, many years. Many, many years. That's my wife there in the background, my good wife, or working class, yeah, kind of people. Yeah. This is not the same first lady. This is not the first lady when Iman ready, and family una forgive me because una might see a few actions behind me because the studio is being sort of renovated. When they try for bring and come up to standard. So me performance right now is actually the interfere with my family them inside their own private house. But at least I will not talk to them so they understand and picking them understand that, wife understand that, so we get along with that. So if we not see them, they pass, although it will be limited, kindly try to understand that this is the situation and it's going to be fine. Because pretty soon we'll move back on to the studio. But this is the attitude of the first lady of the country. When he ready, he take the man, we president where we elect. He fling his hand around them. He take his hand, he put up a tap his shoulder so. Not knowing fully well that this is not acceptable. These are all the attributes of Munkuism. Now then you go to they talk about Munku business. Because why? There is this maxim that the best defense is offense. So instead of people and they can't tell you say you Munku, you already they tell and say them Munku. So people and get for come up from that projection, they say when a Munku and get for defend that and begin for reverse until then they come to you. And you could be indulging into something else. But some of us don't get swayed by that. I certainly don't get swayed by that. Because I don't highlight this for the past 2 years when they make the mistake, then the timing was wrong. The wedding timing was wrong. And people are, oh, you jealous? No, I'm not jealous. I'm happy for the woman. I was happy for the woman. And I thought she had an opportunity for change that perspective in the country. She had it. But look what they do. They interfere on every available opportunity now the politics of the country, even though she was not elected. And nobody wants her. Nobody know they tell her. Say, but no, I mean, you just they make more division. Because even within your own circle, you they cause problem for your own party, especially with the statement where you make recently. You they make like say you clever, that you they can't defend something. You don't know say you put yourself, it's like quicksand. Every time when you move, you sink an inch more into the quicksand. If you say they play clever, in quicksand you remain you remain static because anytime you move, you go down. Every time you move, you go down gradually until your neck and then your head, and then that's it. Then you come and say the reason why they do this. No, that wasn't the reason. You missed it. Sometimes, when I'm first lady, you just need for own up, and you should have stopped this a long time ago. You can't just come, you wrap your arm around the president and then make that official. Maybe Christmas time, if we want to release a Christmas message on a Christmas card for show family values, maybe you can do that. You, the head of state, and the picking them, wanna do a Christmas card. That goes viral, here with the people. Very much appreciated. Family values. We knew family, first family. This is what they are. But you everything. Whether the president they drive tractor for go clean the rest farm, now you see don't pant up the president in shoulder. Whether the president they go lunge for go, break sword for make the construction of the new airport. Now you first, now you they can't wait the dirty. Who elected you? Who did? No one did. Certainly, not us. But you did into this and not realizing how very wrong you are, and the people where they back you up saying, well, she's absolutely right. Absolutely right in which point? There is a lot ongoing famulem, and let us not shy away from election and voter fraud. I begin for digress into that point there because it's also a highlight where they can want use for make let we shy away from the real issues. But it's not like we forget. So let me come back to voter and voter fraud. So from what we know, it's like the Elections Commission, the ECLS, I hope I get that abbreviation correct, formerly NEC, are deeply, deeply in the morass of fraud, embezzlement, corruption. One way Francis Benkaifala for the look at by now, because document after document don't come out. For sure, say a process where is a generational process. It's generational. Generational, 100 years. It's not been overlooked. This is real. Now, in the take place so now in which there is fraudulent activities on voter registration in the country in a process which therefore take place in a few months' time that is going to make a decision on the people that we get for rule we, how they get for rule we, or how we arrive at that decision day. Let me have a quick look at just a few comments then with the chat room. Delwin Thomas, good evening, brother Del. I hope all is well there. Kadiatu Jalo. Yes, Sister KJ, you do day. I hope all is well in Bamansi. Martha Bangura, hi, Sister Martha. George Orwell, of course. Good afternoon, Mr. George Orwell, a passionate supporter of this platform. And I appreciate your effort and everybody else. We don't sign in. Kanu Aliyu, good evening, Mr. Kroma. Very good. Abdullah Kamara, good evening, my brother. Thanks for your sincere analysis. The issues in Sierra Leone presently is just annoying. Very true. It is interesting, Munku, bro. You hit I will come to that, Sister KJ. Good evening from Freetown. Keep up the good work for the people of Salone. Your tireless effort in bringing liberation and good governance, democracy, and the rule of law to Salone. Yeah, I have no doubt about this. I must make it clear. If I had any doubt, because now I can read the comments on the chat room. And I can ask people comment, use the emoticons, use the icons, whether or not the likes or dislikes. Express your view. Let's look into that. That's how we are informed on what we do right and what we not do right. So if we're not doing something right on the basis of waiting with people the way they watch they tell we, if need be, we will adjust. That's what it is. We are humans. We are prone to err. But for now, I do appreciate everybody, yeah, that has made those comments, even though just few, it will be supposed to forget people's power. So, Sister Kadiatu Jalo, just for come back to what you say, we understand the psychology. Your sister, yeah, in terms of your age, you grew up in a country where now that same period in I grew up there. So we understand the values in which they've been bringing we can up. And did you hear the name Kadiatu Jalo? She's a Jalo. She belongs to a community of decent people, the Fula people. And in Daddy Brian come up in a way in which it was very decent and then valued, and they were inculcating to her. She still carry those values to this day. Not some others, yeah, we bear the name Barry, Bar, and the rest of it. Names that are affiliated with the Fula community, but they are indulging in mamikos. For once, I never phantom this, that Fula people go involved in cause. Not every one of them, like the sister what they talk about, completely Fula. But she would never indulge in this kind of activity. No, she wouldn't. Because this is not the attribute of the people. But the kind of politics that we're into now, this is the kind of thing that they hear, in which you think, say, you can just come on media and smear people, accuse people of raping. Yeah, I mean, these are quite strong language. Can you prove it? Did it happen? Or you just an idiot, a fool? But that's coming. And there's going to be a special segment into that, a very special segment into that, and that's coming very soon. But tomorrow, I don't want to forget, una tune in to the Then and Now Media Empire, because what we get for the talk about tomorrow is it's deep. It's really deep, because we're going to be talking about institutions, the hijacking of our institutions, our politicians, the different politicians, them, and what they stand for and how they divide we. We're going to talk about what we international guarantors in terms of with democracy, waiting and don't do. We're going to talk about the EU, waiting and they do now, waiting and don't do them. Prior to now, back in 2018, waiting and observe similar thing what I just said earlier on, waiting and observe our elections process and how they come, waiting and recommend, how they recommend, why they recommend. And the recommendation in the way they give 4 years on and come back, we haven't made any gains. Instead, we just retrogress. Recidivism, that's what it's called in psychology. That's what we are doing. We didn't move back, we are sliding back. And this is what we talk about. And then it's not personal. We don't target people, we target issues. If for some reason we call your name, then so be it. Typical example, the leader of the opposition, he put in a parliament, Honorable Cherno Ramadan Cherikoko Ba. She really, I say she, sorry about this. He released a statement which normally people of that stature can do. Sometimes the timing can be very, very poor in terms of the timing. In other words, in this one, we've been doing the argument for quite a long time. It's only a week before the process comes to an end. We know, say, or we understand, say, that it's a process that can be extended. But if this is the case, you could have been making the argument earlier on for an extension of the process. Not when we, the ordinary blokes, the ordinary folks, have made up, so much time, lost time, both on jobs. Remember, we get for a good job, and some of us, if we not go work, they pay we. But sometimes we take the sacrifice by, making these videos that we have to make so that we convey the messages to our people. That's what we've been doing. Honesty. That's what we've been doing. And now then they come to that. So the point I want to make, like, he released a message, a statement. Normally, the statement from such a powerful man, he go get a letterhead. We all know what a letterhead means. It means that it's very official. Suffice me to say, not all because it gets your name and your address. I can easily say But now one of me people and they pull them, me secretary and then pull them, and one have you. In other words, if you get a letterhead, it means a more official than the one where we see so in terms of the statement. However, it's better late than never. So we got a statement from the head of the opposition in parliament. But we expect to see the meaningful contribution there more often, more invigorating, more tension like. Let me tell you, say go make plan, but that's not what we mean. But even though we know they're in opposition or occupy your position, but we do understand by the definition of the word, not by your characteristics, because we can understand that your approach can be different, but there is a way that you make this difference. When you get an opportunity, American man, they say they throw you a red meat, or in the animal kingdom, animal they angry, and to where they want deer, whether dead or not, see where they go for them. In other words, in that position, then how you they perform. So you get an opportunity for critique the people that you're going against. Because remember, you are a government in waiting. Can I repeat that? You are a government in waiting. So you therefore take opportunity when opportunity arises. Let's talk about just any opportunity. I am speaking to good opportunity. Why did you pull a statement? Because it be necessary. And what we say now is the statement, better late than never though, but could it have come earlier for highlight the problem there? Should we have waited 1 week for hold the government accountable? How sure are we that this statement cannot be denied because it doesn't carry a letterhead? So it not get much of an essence, much of the gravitas, that I suppose forget. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the TNN TV Media Empire. I am Prince Emil Chroma. And today, we may suppose forget we border People's Power. For some reason, it's not turned up. And let me just check quickly while I talk to owner and see whether he send me any message for that matter. Because you get for no say you get a program. And if you know they appear on the program, but you very much there around other media them, then of course we can come to the conclusion, say maybe you didn't want to appear on the program. You get the discretion for do so. But you can be decent enough for tell people and say, oh, or for tell the host, say, well, I'm not going to appear again. I don't change my mind and what have you. So we're not able to get the border. So therefore, we will go into a monologue will not be planned. But tomorrow is the real monologue when we shall be speaking truth to power. We will be addressing the president of the country, President retired Brigadier Julius Marabio. Don't forget, say this president we don't tell we say, despite all waiting in fumble and they try for say, the man may not tell we in clear terms that he's failed us, that he cannot help us in the situation where the country is. The bank governor don't say the same thing to we. The bank governor, a failed economist by every stretch of the language, that more people in Sierra Leone are in poverty today than ever before. But they've told us this, so this is not strange. So the one way they come for can't defend them, I not understand on whose basis when they come for can't defend them, when the people when they can't defend have already accepted that they failed us. The president has said it, that I really can't help you now because this is the situation and such is the time. Same president go on international media, international mainstream media, and say if people are jealous of him. Can you imagine? This is an outcry. This is outrageous. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Ofambole, like they say, I know you know what from People's Power. So probably People's Power make up in mind of appearing on the program today. But notwithstanding, like I say, we want for doing 1 hour program on this. For talk, because issues are so many. We can talk on so many issues, on a divergence of issues here and there. Voter registration, we can decide for be personal about the All People's Congress and registration process, the lack of the procedure where they need, here going forward. In other words, the lack of executives from a ward to constituency to councillor and you name it, executive level. There's so much for talk about. We can move on, here to the presidency. We can move on to the first lady, like I've just done. when they try for can blindfold we as if we big fool, as if we na munku. Then they use the word munku, not knowing for no say the word munku is applicable to them. The one way they try for let we tell people they say yeah, we na munku. Now so them they try for do where the thing so obvious. Same person we was in denial so many times after having had a budget appropriated to our office illegally and was in denial of receipt of this budget according to the accountant or financial law in the country. The office is not statutory, so therefore get any entitlement for be furnished or provided with that kind of money from the consolidated revenue fund. This is in ABC black and white. But for so many months, they try to tell we otherwise. Only on the persistence of the Africanist press, with uncontrovertible evidence, that way you can't deny anymore, incontrovertible. It's so obvious, it's so on your face, that finally she had to accept that the office cannot run without cheers and what. But why didn't you say this earlier on? Instead of bragging, 22 years I work for my own money. That's sign of munkuism. And a munku business dandy. If we don't understand munku. Those of us who grew up in a salon in the 70s and 80s, we understand the essence of munku. If we don't change the perception of munku, we're not impossible. Then we need for make we understand this new perception, this new creation, this new definition of munkuism. But as far as we know, now that old perception now they go with, and this is what we grow up with. So we understand the concept of munkuism. And a munkuism, you pretend for say you know and you don't know. You pretend for say you be and you don't be. But we get for be careful because we get friends. Because if you begin for disparage people, like the one that we just come, then just come them, JJC, Jolly just come. When they try for make like say they know. When did you come? What do you know? When did you arrive? How did you arrive? How did you arrive? So we understand this. So, Madam First Lady, when the was we face go up, ma. Now, was we face can down. Family tomorrow na tuning to the Then and Now Media program. Like I say again, this na a rehearsal for me monologue for tomorrow. I haven't done monologue for quite a while because we dey try for make Then and Now TNN TV Media Empire at least a 5 days program a week. Also, people like can count on unbiased information. Unbiased information. Because they've done that many a times and think say, well, we can lump this, you say, when I under them belong. Then our APC. Some people even accuse me, this is the confusion, the morass, I call them. Some people say, oh, na SLPP. The SLPP, oh, na APC. Somebody accused me recently, say, Mina Mende. Well, if I were Mende, I would have been proud because this is one of the proud tribe them in the country. Not because of political disengagement and disagreement. So now we try for demean the Mende tribe, like the person we try for use them, the context in which he try for use them is like, oh, this Mende, the way I will describe me. Well, I would have happily won the badge of Mende, being Mende, because I can come and defend, you're being Mende. Tanga one, not a platform, or if given the opportunity. Unfortunately, I'm not. I wish I was, because it's part of the tribe, then a freedom. Now, I'm in a salon. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm something else. But this is the kind of nastiness what we talk about, where some people feel say, now the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s politics, shortly before the war, we went to a war on the same basis there. So it seems like we haven't learned a lesson, and few politicians are trying to use us so that then go able to get to the intended objective or the outcome we want, which is definitely for perpetuate themselves in power. Is it going to work? I don't believe so, because there's a paradigm shift. There's a cultural shift. It's not the same as the same, not anymore. It's a slow process. Not everybody is on board. But gradually, if people like me and many others like me on social media continue to espouse their messages there, so that we young folks, because our population is very young, then get the message and begin to believe in people, and we espouse the values of principle, the values of philosophy of a country. which is supposed to be bordered on the principles of decency, mutual respect, biblical and Muslim ideology. Do unto others as you will have others do unto you. Mutual respect and that kind of thing in there. Then surely we will find a way for go forward. But you get people that will still want to indulge in this mentality of gangsterism. They're not gangster, but they want to pretend like that they are gangsters. And this make me remember the late Tupac Shakur. Yeah. Of course, I followed Tupac Shakur for quite a while, listened to his music, danced to his music. Now we don't get picking it now, yeah, because of the language. So we back off. But of course, I did listen. I listened to a lot of hip hop. So this day I do. So sometimes when I go on my own, if I drive, here on my own, I do play hip hop and loud. I play it. Just indulge in that, in that, sort of story for quite a while. So he was never a thug, but he espoused this thug life and he died thuggery. Very good guy. He come on from a sort of the Gavism movement. He come up from the Malcolm X sort of kind of movement. For talk about in people them, the destiny of in people them. But somehow go get indulged in thug life and try for promote thug life because he didn't get a platform, a bullhorn. And what happened? That's how he perished. Now some people and they do. They're really not. Some man come up line, some man come up Kenema. Some unfortunate forget worry. Some unfortunate, you forget husbandry or what have you. But the idea that they make so much noise about them, it just tells you who they are. You don't know, other people them how they come up with them and get. And it's good for let you have. It's good for let you have. But then you want hinge yourself on the back of others and they destroy others unknowingly. And then you they aspire for position. But like I say again, there's going to be a special monologue on that, and that will come after tomorrow's program. Because tomorrow's program is a monologue in which I'm going to be on all of my elements like I've been before. All of my elements that I've been before, Fambulem. And I kid you not, I am serious as hell. Okay? Because even though I've been trying to take a back loop and just watch the platform grow, which is growing, we get people like Cherno Alpha Mba of the African Express. We get Alaji Mohamed Warise, two of the most prominent voices. I mean, you get a right for disagree with them if you want to. That's up to you. But we are asking people, listen to what they are saying. Listen to the relevance of the time. Listen to the relevance of the story. That's what we are asking for. It is in the interest of other people and for just discourage you for not listening. For even give you a perspective of them people there, I say, but come on, them people there. No, I speak against that. Try and find your independence and come and listen. And make a decision for yourself after listening. If we must have a one Sierra Leone, it means we have to listen to each other, disagree with each other, and find a common ground on how to go before. Because I've said this many a times. The idea is about a country, isn't it? It is about a country. Ladies and gentlemen, before I come to this final segment, let me take a break and then I will come and can close this program. But don't forget for tuning tomorrow because tomorrow, like I promised you now, what you see so tonight is a fraction of what you will see tomorrow. Because tomorrow, we'll be talking about institutions, the state capture of institutions and why. How many elections we've had since we interregnum? What happened then? Where are we? How we arrive? Usai we did so now. Waiting at the EU then recommendation, waiting them we observe first. The compromises of we major institutions that are responsible, i.e. in this case, NEC, which is the ECSL right now, which is responsible or charged with the responsibility of conducting elections in a free and fair atmosphere in which all Sierra Leoneans should feel belong. The judiciary, which is so much heavily compromised. The compromise is not new, but it is just getting more and more compromised, and that's what the point is. But charged with the responsibility of creating an atmosphere in which we can lodge complaints, actions can be taken against others in respect or in lieu of the people. Create an atmosphere of freedom, justice, and respect. Is that the case? And that is a no, no, no. It's not the case. The police, who is charged with the responsibility of serving to protect life and property, is now part and parcel of this entire enterprise of the criminal cabal calling themselves, politicians, who at the whim of their fingers can tell the police what to do, how to do, what to do. Is this the Sierra Leone that we want? Now the salon this way we want. We not be don't get this in the 1970s, specifically in the 1980s. I got matured in the 1980s and the 1990s, so I'm familiar with this story. And I thought that there will be a change that will move forward. We haven't. Look at what's happening with voter registration. 10 million allocated for voter registration process so that we go afford Sierra Leoneans them the opportunity for letting them able to register. Whether you be a first-time voter, it's not supposed to be a problem. When they talk about eligibility, are you eligible for vote come the next election? This is the process, the prelude to that process. And yet Sierra Leoneans are not being accorded as provided by the Constitution. This wonderful, wonderful section now we Constitution to Sierra Leonean them. But instead, waiting happened. $10 million allocated to a particular institution for make provision, so make sure say this will happen. It turned to a case of corruption. Francis Ben Kaifala, who has been championing the case of corruption, is on the side hearing this. We are yet to hear him make a move. And yet there are documents, compelling evidence, because we've seen far less the threshold in which he's got himself involved. We've seen cases of the mayor in which the contradiction, it was so overwhelming in the sense that Parliament, we get overarching authority, was investigating the mayor. At the same time, the ACC boss tried for intervene inside, which is not allowed in any shape, sense, or form. Parliament take overall responsibility. That don't mean say the ACC boss cannot investigate, but not the way Parliament is not in consonance or concomitantly with Parliament. No. So then threshold and we don't see all of them. So now we see this, and we see no intervention. 10 million, and yet the process itself they in a sham. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we close this program for one good for today. And tomorrow, not forget, we will put the flyer then out. Once again, we supposed to forget the people's power. For some reason, he didn't turn up. We will try to see why he didn't turn up. Normally, they can come with excuse. We can evaluate and assess the excuses them when they come with. If he meet up the bill and it correct, then so be it. If it is not, then we're able to make a decision as to, well, now we understand why. But I also get news for breakthrough now, because if this is the case, where some people and where they send me message now, they suspect is the case, then we get William of Stay Red Movement will be on this platform. The flyer might come out tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. William of the Stay Red Movement will be on the platform. Listen, you can't stop the truth from being spoken. You can't. And like I say again, having given you this information, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we will read the few comments made on the platform tonight. And then we try for wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the TNN TV Media Empire. I am your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kuma. Don't forget, keep tuned. So, ladies and gentlemen, the promo one I see around just now, this is courtesy of Baba Sheikh. I mean, this is what we need for do. Baba Sheikh run this promo for me. I think this is over 2 years ago, and I'm grateful to the brother. And serious people, this is what they do. You acknowledge good work. You acknowledge. Now, when you go school, this is exactly what happen. You not just to take other people and work. You suddenly convert them for be yours. So the promo one I see earlier on was done by Baba Sheikh Production. I think the brother based in Holland. He do this production for me, and I really appreciate this. And this is like 2 years ago. We use it for quite a while. As you say, necessary again for let we do them. But Fambulem, not forgetting again once more, this na the TNN TV Media Empire, where they bring to una undiluted news, where the people and worry, na in our worry. Don't touch that. So okay, let's read a few comments, quickly before we close this program. I appreciate those of you where they watch. Really do appreciate. Let me see, where do I start from? Exactly, bro. People have misplaced values nowadays. Okay, Mohamed Al Makonte, more like Warboy, like Kube. I just the suicide for start from because I've been reading half of the thing them. So we get brother Kanu Aliyu. So it's good evening, Mr. Kroma, and good evening, viewers. Good evening, Mr. Aliyu Kanu, and thank you very much. Abdullah Kamara, good evening, my brother. Thanks for your sincere analysis. The issue in Sierra Leone presently is just annoying. Yes, Mr. Kamara, absolutely agree with you until more of us, because it's about the numbers, and this is what I'm going to try to analyze tomorrow. It's going to be speaking straight here to the heart of power, and waiting power mean and waiting can happen with power they left you or how power they left you. I'm going to be speaking to that tomorrow. But until we come together as a people and then begin to realize with force, and I give this analogy. Now the late Malcolm X, a man who I've followed a lot, almost don't read all of in literature. Almost I've read all of his literature. He talk about the analogy where he is about the power or the effect of action. So he talk about a single digit where now a finger, now you call a digit. So if I take this finger and poke on your face, of course there's a reaction there or there's a feeling, but that feeling there is less. As opposed to 2 digits, 2 fingers, you get a little bit more power. 3 get a little bit more power than 2. 4 get more little bit power than 3. And then 5. 5 means that you've got a fist. Did you hear me, brother Kamara? You've got a fist. So that fist hits you. It's got 5 finger digit, 2, 3, 4. Now you got your 5 fingers, your 5 digits folded as a fist. So when they hit you, there's more power in them because the 5 are together. The analogy is the more we come together and express our dislike, because this is what they do, politicians, and this goes back to the heart of colonialism. Now, so then take for rule we divide and rule. Some politicians then land that act day some time ago, so they are using it and divide us either on tribal lines, regional lines, party lines, and you name it. And somehow they are succeeding. But the common denominator is we are all suffering. The crisis right now, they talk about food crisis, we don't spiral out of control. Living crisis, don't spiral out of control. Now we all feel them. Then within a power, this is not a problem for them because then they get them daily food, then they get them daily electricity, then they get them daily beer, if then they drink, then daily palm wine and coconut water. Now me and you get for struggle every day. So until we begin for see this and understand this, we'll move nowhere. It has to be a concerted effort for express with dismay, with disagreement that this is not going to work. Sister Kadatu Jalo, it's interesting, Munku bro, you hit it all. Yes, of course, Sister Kadatu, like I've been saying, you grew up in a salon where we understand what's in Munku. Me and you have no doubt know exactly the fundamentals of Munkuism. The Munku, then now one can take them and turn them upside down before we head. For make like say then Sabian pass, we will Sabian, we will introduce or not introduce them, but learn them from that very initial stage and understand what it is, what it munku mean. But now then they amplify them more because you know one for let you point to them. Hence the maxim is the best defense is offense. Not wait for them come to you. You go to them. Molai Wabe by Kamara. Hello everyone. Hello Molai. Mohammed Alima Conte. Good evening, TNN TV. Good evening, brother Mohammed Alima Conte. Many thanks for that. Sankor Bintiatu. Hello to everyone else. Hello, Sister Bintiatu. Gali Dowd watching from Tottenham. Good evening, Tottenham, and good evening, my brother. That's my brother and friend. Many thanks for watching tonight. Kadatu Jalo, exactly, bro. People have misplaced values nowadays. Situation should not change a good foundation. It's true. Situation should not change a good foundation, but you therefore feel sorry for the situation itself because waiting the power the situation now. Okay, they don't conduct an experiment and it's psychological, my sister. And people need to understand on that level. And once you don't understand on that level, it then becomes a problem. But it's out there. Studies have been conducted. I deprive you of food. If I want to let you respect me and I they call the shot, I they deny you of waiting are you basic. Waiting are you basic? And once I deny, eventually, even if you the kaklat, like how they do we, yeah, we great granddaddy then, grandpa then way back. By Bure, it's an example. He fought against the British. The British made him surrender. If you go read the story, how did they make him surrender? Waiting happened. So first of all, understanding the cause waiting he fought for, why did he fight, waiting been fought for, how he got betrayed, waiting happened eventually, how they get hold of him, how they demoralize him deliberately. We need to understand them in a context. Many thanks. Moran say, well said. Galida, people's power could be technical issues. Yes, Bangali. So therefore, we are holding back. We are not making any assumptions or speculations. We'll hold back. It could be technical problem. Let's try and reach to him after the program. Definitely. And if you can do that as well, that will be fine. I've sent people to get to him to ask first of all, because we live in precarious times. I sent people them already. Can you please find out whether this guy is good? Because we may not put them out there, say we're having a program with people's power, and I hope say we are not responsible. Should anything, Father forbid, should anything happen. So I did ask people then for check out and make sure say he's good. So many thanks for that, brother. Well said. Kadatu Jalo, I am laughing to death. Thank you, sister. Bobo Leon B. Mr. Kroma, you are on point. You are well informed. Cheers. Thank you, Bobo Leon B. Bobo Leon B. Those who prevail in wickedness will be consumed by the wrath of wickedness someday. Yeah, very much biblical. Kadatu Jalo. Are we on the route of free and fair election? I guess the sister mean free. No, we are not. I mean, we should not hesitate for call that out. Election is being manipulated. And this is not new. If we now go back to some of we video them, we go try for begin play them back again. We've been speaking about these issues going back to over 1 year. The normative process. We've interviewed a slew of people across this particular platform. Dr. Jonathan Sandy has been warning us, JPJ for short. He's been warning us about the fraud that is ensuing in terms of election. He lectured us about the normative process when it comes to election fraud. Because this man don't conduct elections or has witnessed elections. Now, several African countries them across the region, not the region, across the African continent as a whole, from the west to the east, and you name it, to the north. He's been there. He's a consultant with the United Nations and has worked in different capacities. So we don't speak to her many a times over 1 year ago. So, sister, the answer is no, we are not on a route to a free and fair election. No, it's rather a fee. Probably the sister, even they use a different analogy that I don't understand. Fee and fear, because this is a bookwoman and fear. If not that you mean, but yes, that's where we're heading. An election when they try to put fear in us. Thank you. Abdullah Kamara, Madabio, his ministers, and every sector of his appointees lack integrity, and everyone supporting until now hate him or herself with total dishonesty. Yeah, there's some credence to that. Beatrice Thompson, God Almighty will punish each and every one of them with their wickedness. Let me speak to Sister Beatrice Johnson. It is good for hope, say, God in his almightiness go punish them. But, say, God in punishment can be slow. God in wrath can be slow. But God also empower us. Someone has to pay for all the innocent blood that is shed. Remember that God gave us dominion over all things. He gave us dominion over all things. And we continue for abuse these all things. Continue for abuse them. Do we wait until God in wrath he don't overrun the cup or the glass for let it come? Or can we take responsibilities ourselves? The point I'm trying to make, Sister B, is we need for take responsibilities ourselves. That's what we need for do. Take responsibilities ourselves. We don't have to wait then. He's already giving us that inspiration because we understand waiting to go on. If we understand waiting to go on, why don't we find solutions to it? Do we have to wait for biblical revelation? Have we not already been taught? Think about it, my dear sister. Kadatu Jalo. Hope they extend the voters' registration time. But that's what we're beginning to hear, and this is what we've been speaking to. Chernobyl, the Africanist Press, Warise, Mohammed Warise has been speaking to this, and other few commentators, social media commentators. And the thing we will give you respite is, despite we went on the small one and they talk about them, the big one they will be expect for talk about them then, not been do so, but they not begin to talk about them now. I.e., Dr. Kande Yunkela don't rub much inside him. Cherry Cocoa don't begin rub much inside him. So it's like something is coming and something might happen. But we also get for scrutinize that process. They not because they say it get for happen, and when it happen, then we sit back. We're not going to allow it to happen. We raise the tempo, we raise the information bar, we make sure say the international community was informed, we begin for see actions on the part of the international community, where they begin for the go now centers. We see the British ambassador, the UK High Commissioner na Salone, go na places. If una see we, una tell we are do. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. But there was a message inside that message day that ufna ziwi na Tonkolili, una siwi na Cambia. Why do you think they were visiting these places? And these people and their money, there's a huge disgrace on the part of the ECSL. We don't consume or don't misappropriate over 6 or 7 million of a 10 million appropriated for a national process called the elections. This is serious. And we expect opposition party members them for rob mud pandis. This is the issue of the time. This is very critical, more than the travel of Madabio. More than that, Otondo Sise, good evening, Mr. Prince. A big respect to you, sir. Many thanks, Mr. Sise. I do really appreciate that. Alaji Momo Sanko, good evening, Prince, watching from Milan, Italy. Wow, Milan, Italy. Good evening, Milan, Italy. When I get a new government now, and we understand, say, the government is based in fascism. So after over 40 years of the absence of fascism in mainland Europe, here we go, Italy, born out of the womb of Mussolini, is back again with fascism. And these are people who are anti-immigration. And as an immigrant yourself, Mr. Alaji Momo Sanko, I wish you well, but when you monitor any news, feel free for send our over to we, and we appreciate that you watch from Italy. Many thanks, brother. So back to the end of this program. We've said it, and because of which we say we disagreement them, and not been decided for use this on this particular platform, but you get people way they direct assassination. How do you call it? For assassinate we character, we good characters in lies, complete lies. 1980s APC politics, and what we say is, if the APC party must reform and no one for disintegrate, it has to reform. It has to leave behind these tendencies or people we decide and then they left them tendency they are behind. Because some people get caught up. They don't know say party don't move on. That the younger folks that are coming, then they expect dialogue. Then they expect an expression of academia on a collegial level, collegial basis. Disagree for agree. Then they expect, a discussion on a level never before seen. Now, so country they take for develop. So if you get people the way they pull you back into some era we're not really material, this is really, really pathetic, and this is not going to wash. This is not going to intimidate us from stopping what we're doing. We are going to focus on waiting germane to the conversation today and tomorrow. Because why? We want to see a better Sierra Leone. It's not because you call me a foreigner. I've heard this before. There's been so much effort on social media. Before then, I used to take the time for address that you're not foreigner, you're not foreigner, you're not foreigner. Despite me Creole where I talk, it better pass so many of the people the way they accuse me of being a foreigner. But then at a certain point, you see, when I did the direction, then they want to go. But I don't have time for that anymore because time is fast catching up with us. We get other things that we want for the address. But what I do know is we're not going to take it back sitting on our laurels and accept people and for character assassinatory without hitting back at them. And not only them, but the people and where they support. The people and where they support. What's important here is God has given us a platform, and we've got few people like when I see just now. The numbers are not great, but the number subsequently does increase. It does increase. And we know say there's a concerted effort on a higher level by people that we get clout, we get power, we get money for undermine we platform them so that the voices that come here will not be heard. That things that we speak here will be suppressed. You have to ask yourself, how long do you suppress information? Because you tried before. You don't spam with platform, you don't show virus, you don't bring virus kind of with platform. We continue for survive. But the assurance what I can give you is if you check with statistics, every day, at least we must get 10 people we either like or follow we platform. Every day. And in a month, the stats are there. These are not being made up. Which shows that there is a degree of appreciation from we family out there. We want for hear something different, other than the same old same. Mamikos, character assassination, things that will not happen. Deliberately, they try for twist things for put people in a bad light. You want that war? You've got a war. You want that fight? You've got a fight. Because waiting we do know is, despite all we triumphs and tribulations, we still get, things that worry us deeply. That worry us deeply. But not one that will make us shy away from this conversation, because now the only time where you compromise such voices, because they cannot continue with the argument. He said this, ladies and gentlemen, are they say again to Una? Una not forget for tuning tomorrow. Yes. I get William. William is watching the platform right now. I just see a message where he sent me. Hello, William. How you do? So he will be on the platform tomorrow. So Una can make effort and try for go discourage him from appearing on the platform. I don't know how this serves the purpose. I really don't know. Because unless they put on ourselves, those of us with they into that kind of category, they just they put on ourselves more and more into such mess. And I'm not going to be trading that kind of filthy fight with such people because it's not material to me. It means nothing. It means nothing to me because you can't stop my voice. Some of you have only just started now. You've only just started now. And then you want a fight of this kind of magnitude? We are established already. This legacy of ours cannot be taken away. It's sealed. A dedicated channel of over 500 videos on YouTube. Pretty soon we're going to move on other platform. In other words, we are trailblazers. We are trailblazers. Or we are trailblazing. So we'll move on to other platforms. Like for example, YouTube, they give you small money. They don't block we. For some reason, maybe some people I haven't investigated that end yet, but maybe some people then complain for some reason because they don't like us. Complain because what I'm saying here, when they talk to the salon people. So when they get out, we advert home and they get again. For over 6-7 months, they've done that to us, meaning that we miss out on revenue because we really get advert anymore. And I'm not saying that it's people who have done this. Maybe we ourselves don't violate one of them things then. But the algorithm, for letting it function properly under that, Let me quickly ask Una, oh dear, Una use then sign then like the like or dislike. Thumbs up means you like. Thumbs down means you don't like. Feel free for use either as to how you see them. Please do. We do encourage that. Leave comments. If you're not satisfied with the way how we do things or how you will let we do things or what we say where you don't like, let's have a conversation around this. This is what the T and N represent. A media of newity, a media of proportional discussion on the basis of academia, a media, yeah, which is more encouraging, more encompassing in terms of we values them, which we had then. Not one way people in the try for make now, especially politicians them, for divide and rule we and scared we because then they can't cost you mama, so you back off. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work here. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough, but don't forget for tuning tomorrow. And I will read the last comments before I leave, which is from Brother George Orwell. Sister Salima Dumbuya is watching. Sister Salima, good evening, and how are you? George Orwell, thank you, Mr. Kuma, for creating this platform to create awareness to the citizens and also bringing credible and academic individuals like Mr. Chernoba and Mr. Warise to this noble platform. We shall overcome these criminals, cartel administration, including their cohorts from the opposition. Mr. Orwell, you couldn't have said it any better. I do agree with you. These are criminal cartels. Yeah. This is a criminal, and like Chernobyl would say, a colony of gangsters. The language, the attitude is indicative of a colony of gangsters. It depicts a colony of the gangsters. That's what it is. And then get the minions, them. One, they were not really material. Send you messages, voice messages, them, and what have you. Do you think I've got time for that? I've got serious business for you. And you they try to distract me? I focus, strategically on what is material, not what is not material. Those that are responsible for changing the narrative of a country are the people that we go laser focus on, not those that are not responsible. Yeah. Who are you? Fola, I can't turn me focus to you because you send me a message. Do I waste my time on you? Who are you? A foot soldier. Wait, today you there, tomorrow you there under. Do I waste my time on you? No. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think, like we say, every good thing must come to an end. And we'll not forget for tuning tomorrow. This is a monologue. I don't have anybody who will be joining me. This is me, they say, what I want for say. And it's going to be powerful. I'm going to be in my element. And like I say again, I don't give you a hint already. But for talk about institutions, the one that we bring we can also with this. So after we war, over 75,000, 80, 90,000 of we people and die. Yet today, some people in the try for big fool we for go back into that same kind thing. The EU observed we elections back in 2018 and make recommendations. Institutions them wait for effect their recommendations, then they are found wanting even today. Specifically, the judiciary, the police, and then the PPRC stroke the ECSL, formerly NEC. Ladies and gentlemen, every good thing must come to an end. Until we catch up tomorrow, don't touch that dial. I am your host and presenter, Prince Emil Chroma. Feel the power, feel the burn. We shall resist. Right, ladies and gentlemen, once more, that are the voice of Innocent Kuti, one of Sierra Leone's finest. I own no copyright to his songs or his song that I've just played. Just play them for entertainment and informative reasons. Don't forget for tuning tomorrow. This has been a Then and Now TNN TV media production. I've been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kroma. Until we'll catch up again, and don't forget, on Monday, William of the Stay Red Movement, All People's Congress, because what you they try for do, create a narrative anyway. But again, before I begin go into diatribe or begin for digress, I need for end the program. Many thanks for tuning in. Love you all. Love you loads. Goodbye.